Hello and welcome to another ARM software developer breakdown. My name is Robert Wolf, and in this video, you guessed it, we will once again be meeting with Angel Rivera, developer advocate at CircleCI, to continue building out his CI/CD pipelines demo using ARM Compute Resource classes. If you missed any of the previous parts to this series, cruise on down to the description and find the part that you're on. Angel, so here we are. Why don't you tell us what you have for us this time?
Yeah, thanks again, Robert. So what we're going to do here is essentially set up our CI/CD project so that we can start building using ARM architectures on CircleCI's platform. The first thing, obviously, is you're going to go ahead and register for a new account if you don't have one. If you have one already, just go to your, click the Go to App link. I already have an account, so I don't really need to set one up. But when you set one up, the initial thing, if you're new to CircleCI, the initial thing you need to look out for is your build, right? So it's going to ask for a configuration, config.yml file. In that process, since this repo already has the config file, you won't need to really do much except for use the existing, but your build will probably fail. And the reason why your build will fail is it doesn't have the credentials needed to connect to the external services that we're using within the pipeline. So the first thing you want to do is after your build fails, you should be somewhere in this dashboard. You want to go over to the right and click on project settings, the little cog here. Once you click on that, you want to jump over to the environment variables right away. And as you can see here, right, the environment variables define the values for the credentials that we're going to need. So in the pipeline, these environment variable names are used throughout. This is a nice way to also mask and use like these environment variables as a placeholder instead of putting the actual values in your CI/CD pipelines, which creates a security concern. The first thing I'll recommend you do is create an IAM account, a new IAM role as well within AWS, so that you limit the security aspects, right? Make sure that account doesn't have full-blown privileges, so in case something happens, right, you don't want an account to have too much power. But once you create that account, it's going to give you an AWS access key and then also an AWS secret key. Again, just put those, name the environment variables appropriately. I would stick to the names that I have listed here, but follow along in the blog. They also have instructions for how to name this stuff. But it's pretty simple, right? You would just put your environment variable. I always like to use capital letters separated by underscores, the words, right? So that you have a nice kind of even standard consistency within your environment variables. But once you have your name, whatever that is, then you can introduce your values, which is the actual credentials that you need to connect. As you can see, we have one for Docker, right? The Docker login is just my Docker username. The Docker password is an API token that I created in Docker Hub. You could actually use your password as well, but I would recommend you create a service account or a service token. And then finally, you're going to need your Terraform cloud token that you created in Terraform. Now, once you have all of that, you're pretty much good to go for your pipeline. Using the code. One other thing that I would recommend that you do is, and you follow along the blog, is you will need to create workspaces within Terraform Cloud. So I'll show you what that looks like real quick. And again, it's in the blog post, but I just want you to kind of get a bird's eye view, a heads up of what that looks like. So in CircleCI or in Terraform Cloud, you would just go to this workspace tab here. And then you would just jump into creating a new workspace. And, you could use this CLI driven one because that's what we're going to use. And you can just call it like, I'm just going to give it a name, but there's official names in the blog post what you would use, but you would just give it a name and then, create the workspace. The one thing I will say is that you should make it a local workspace. But again, that's in the blog. And that's pretty much it. You're just creating, the workspaces that you're going to use within the Terraform. And we'll jump into that a little later as well. So once we have all that, we're able to then jump into actually the code and look at what it is that's happening within the pipeline.
All right, Angel. Well, that was thorough, and I hope y'all were able to follow along at home. Now, in the next video, Angel's going to take us deeper down this rabbit hole as he gets his configurations in order. Angel, maybe you can give us a little teaser here?
Right, Robert. So in the next section, we're going to discuss the CircleCI config.yaml file, which is essentially the blueprint for your CI/CD pipelines within the CircleCI platform.
Great, Angel. Perfect teaser there. Thank you so much. Now, as a reminder to everyone out there watching, don't forget to like the video, follow our channel, and stay tuned because we'll be right back in the next ARM software developer breakdown.